Welcome. My name is Robin Amrine, National Education Consultant for National Geographic Learning. National Geographic Learning is excited to introduce Reach into Phonics Foundations for grades K, 1, and 2. Reach into Phonics Foundations delivers systematic and explicit instruction in phonological awareness, phonics, high-frequency words, reading, and writing. Reach into Phonics Foundations is truly next-generation phonics and high-frequency word instruction using dynamic, engaging, and flexible resources that include an abundance of built-in scaffolding and other supports for children in grades K, 1, and 2. In this session, we will cover kindergarten, first, and second grade materials and instructions using grade 1 slides. During this session, you can refer to your teacher's edition at your particular grade level. Let's review the participant outcomes for today's sessions. At the end of today, we hope that you will gain an understanding of the tiered intervention model, that you will also understand the Reach into Phonics Foundation design and purpose, that you will evaluate each program component, that you will understand the lesson plan, the lesson path, and lesson resources, that you will develop an understanding of the assessment model to diagnose, monitor, reteach, and assess. The goal for this session is to increase your knowledge of Reach into Phonics Foundations so you are equipped to begin tomorrow using Reach into Phonics Foundations with your students. If time permits, we also hope that you will have an opportunity to experience hands-on practice with phonological awareness, phonics, and high-frequency word lessons, and that you will also take time to use the decodable stories to practice the decoding skills and context that your students will be using. And now a little perspective from G. Pinnell and I. Fontes. Quote, "Teaching phonics and spelling is to teach concepts within classrooms where children constantly use oral and written language for authentic purposes." And on a lighter note, from the Family Circus, "Why do I have to keep writing in these K's when they don't make any noise anyway?" Just a little teacher humor there for you. Next, we will discuss the 3 hallmarks that make up the program purpose of Reach into Phonics Foundations. The first hallmark is the explicit, sequential, and systematic instruction focused on foundational skills for students that need support in closing achievement gaps. The second hallmark are the lessons that can be used with one-to-one or small group instruction models. The third hallmark is that Reach into Phonics Foundations is to be used as Tier 2 instruction for students needing additional support outside of the core reading program. We will now examine the 3-tiered intervention model. Tier 1 occurs through quality core reading instruction along with small group instruction. If your school is utilizing National Geographic Learning's Reach for Reading, this instruction will take place daily within kindergarten, first, and second grade classrooms. Students who are identified as struggling or at risk can be placed in Tier 2. Tier 2, utilizing Reach into Phonics Foundations, is for students who need extra support to close achievement gaps as quickly as possible. This instruction is in addition to Tier 1 instruction. Tier 3 intervention is for students that have not made adequate progress within Tier 2 intervention and need intensive interventions. This instruction is in addition to Tier 1 instruction. We will now take a look at the intervention continuum from Reach for Reading, which is our core reading program, to Reach into Phonics Foundations Intervention. As we examine Tier 1 instruction within Reach for Reading or your core reading program, you will see that the teacher teaches and applies whole group. Students practice either in small group settings or through learning station or workshop opportunities. The teacher then assesses informally, weekly, and through unit assessments. Differentiation then takes place as the result of formal and informal assessment to evaluate students' progress to determine need for differentiation. Intervention is then provided for students through lessons and activities for explicit, sequential, and systematic instruction for grades K-1 and 2 foundational skills. Teachers then assess, monitor progress, and student success is evident. Our next slide will take us into the program scope, beginning at kindergarten. The kindergarten program of Reach into Phonics Foundations covers kindergarten foundational skills. First grade will cover kinder and first grade skills. Second grade will cover K-1 and 2. Third grade will cover kinder, first, second, and third grade skills. And the grade 4 through 6 curriculum covers 2nd through 5th grade foundational skills. Next, we will take a look at the diagnostic assessments offered within Reach into Phonics Foundations. You will find these assessments in your Teacher's Edition. Reach into Phonics Foundations provides beginning of the year and mid-year diagnostic assessments to help teachers identify student needs and foundational reading skills. The results will also assist in effectively grouping students, as well as identifying areas of focus for intervention instruction. See pages A1 through A6 for guidelines on implementation of these assessments. Here you see some screenshots of the beginning of year assessments and the mid-year assessments. The initial diagnostic assessments for Reach into Phonics Foundations can be used to identify those children in need of reading intervention in foundational skills. This initial diagnostic, as seen here in the beginning of the year assessment, serves as a measurement for assisting in lesson planning by identifying skills that will require intervention instruction. The mid-year diagnostic assessment provides comprehensive data points to show student progress from the beginning of the year. The results aid in focusing intervention in those skills that students have not yet mastered and to provide evidence of growth in specific foundational skills. The next section that we'll take a look at in our module today are the teaching routines and strategies provided in Reach into Phonics Foundations. These are located in your Teacher's Edition on pages T10 through T24. The first routine that is offered is in a section for phonological awareness. You will see Elkonin boxes referenced and multiple best practices notated on the side of your teacher pages. You will also see high-frequency word practice, fluency routines, and writing routines. These are all noted at point of use within your Teacher Edition and are utilized within the skill lessons. Now we will take a look at the table of contents. Please review the table of contents and notice the detailed scope of skills developed in Reach into Phonics Foundations. First, you will see the phonological awareness routines, the reading routines, the word work routines, reteaching routines, high-frequency word routines and activities, fluency routines, writing routines, and scripts for letter formations. Please also note the assess and reteach options and the section for progress monitoring. Now we will take a look at the lesson path for first grade, Unit 3, Week 1. I will call out the different sections of the lesson and then we will take a more detailed look in the next couple of slides. You will see here within each lesson the warm-up, phonological awareness activity, sound spelling, word work, reading, writing, quick checks, and reteaching options. As you can see, Reach into Phonics Foundations is a comprehensive, intensive intervention program. Let's take a look now at the instructional support materials. First and foremost, you will see a detailed skilled lesson that provides instruction for reteaching and practice for key foundational skills. Next, please note the rhyme cards. These two-sided cards provide explicit modeling of sound spellings. An additional resource are the decodable stories. These are weekly tear-out, fold-up stories that provide opportunities for application and practice of skills to connected text. And last but certainly not least is our online interactive word builder tool that provides dynamic practice for phonics and decoding. We will now take a look at our skills lesson plan. These offer 5-step weekly lessons that help with pacing throughout the year. They include activities for building phonemic awareness, utilize the rhyme card routine to introduce sound spelling correspondence, offer reteaching options for pre-assessment skills reinforcement, and also provide language transfer activities that support English language learners. To continue, we will also see activities for practice in word blending and spelling, review of high-frequency words that build word recognition skills, writing activities that provide opportunities to apply knowledge of sound spelling relationships, and our quick check feature for informal formative assessments. And last, but certainly not least, our practice for fluency to apply skills to decodable text. We will now take a look at the teacher wraparound. Each skill lesson includes clearly stated objectives. In this particular lesson, we see adding initial sounds, reading and spelling blends and triple blends with S, read and spell high-frequency words, read decodable text fluency, and with comprehension. In addition, you will also see on each page the Common Core standards. For this lesson, we see standards that will touch on reading, writing, and language and vocabulary. You will also have a list of basic classroom materials and any additional program resources that are utilized within the lesson. In addition, you will have reteaching options at point of use on your Teacher Edition page. We will now take a look at the Unit 3 skills at a glance. You can see from this matrix that each week is detailed. In the highlight, we will see the skills for phonological awareness, phonics, reading, and high-frequency word instruction. You will also see opportunities to assess and reteach and monitor progress. Now let's dive into an actual lesson. Again, here is your teacher overview, blends and triple blends with S. We will now take a deeper dive into the instructional path of Reach into Phonics Foundations. We will begin with our warm-up. The warm-up is utilizing rereading a known book. Teachers will make available 3 previously read decodable texts for students to begin the lesson with a successful reading. Use the Read a Known Book routine on T14. Then, we will move into Step 1, which is our phonological awareness activity. This lesson focuses on adding initial sounds using the phonological awareness routine number 4 on T11. Then we will have our quick check formative assessment. Step 2 will take us into our sound spelling, blends and triple blends with S. We will use rhyme cards 35 and decoding routine number 1 on T15. We will end our lesson with our quick check before moving into step 3, which is our word work. Our word work activity builds words using word work routines, spelling words using decodable routines, and high-frequency words using the high-frequency word routine, all found in your teacher's edition. Our quick check wraps up this section with our formative assessment. Step 4 will be introducing the decodable story. Please take a moment and pause the video to review the instructions for reading the decodable story and practice either individually or with a partner. You may also practice providing corrective feedback using the corrective feedback routine number 2 on T19. We will end with our quick check, listen to students reading, great skill. Step 5 will take us into our writing. This is our interactive writing opportunity, which utilizes the interactive writing routine that is found on T24. We will finish our lesson with a quick check using rhyme cards 35 and 26. As we move into the second part of week 1, you will see a similar format. Please take a moment to pause the video and review the rest of week 1 instruction, noting the systematic instruction that is found within Reach into Phonics Foundations. If time permits, please practice each step of the instructional path. We will now take a look at our reteaching options for Reach into Phonics Foundations. I will cite here the many different reteaching opportunities that are found within your teacher's edition. The first opportunity is specific to English language learners. These will highlight phonics transfer issues or specific skills that English learners may need to develop in order to meet the skills that are being taught. You will also notice that each of these are specific to the lesson or skill that is being taught and not a general review. Notice that many are interactive learning opportunities and not just paper-pencil practice. If time permits, please take a few moments to review weeks 2, 3, and 4 within your teacher's edition. Find what looks familiar, find what looks different as you move through the next 3 weeks of instruction. Please feel free to pause the video at any time to review weeks 2, 3, and 4. We will now move into the Assess and Reteach, Monitor Progress for weeks 1 and 2. These are the formative assessments that take place systematically within each unit. There are many assess and reteaching options available. This slide will be reviewed again during the assessment portion of the presentation. But let's refer back to the lesson objectives and specific reteaching lessons that support students who require additional instruction for phonological awareness, phonics, and high-frequency words, as seen in our next slide. Here again, we see an overview of the tested skills and opportunities to reteach phonological awareness, again specific to this week's instruction, phonics, and high-frequency word reteaching options. The next component that we will move into are the decodable stories. The decodable stories are an integral part of Reach into Phonics Foundations and can be found online as well as in the Teacher's Edition. There are a few features of the decodable stories that I would like to highlight for you. First and foremost, these can be printed, folded up and sent home with your students. Students will also see a detailed overview of the words that are introduced. Here we see blends with S, triple blends with S, endings with S and ing, and the high frequency words that are taught in this story. Here's a detailed view of one of the pages within our decodable text, Great Skill. Now let's review the decodable story instruction. First, we are going to introduce the decodable story. Again, this focuses on the blends and triple blends with S story words. You will distribute the pages for the decodable story and guide children as they fold it into a book. Have your children use the page numbers to navigate page 6, 4, and then 3. Next, you will monitor reading. Using decoding routine number 4 on T17, you will conduct 4 readings. The first read is your whisper read. You remind children that when you see S before a consonant or 2 consonants at the beginning of a word, blend the sounds to read. The second read is a partner read. Assign partners to take turns reading aloud 1 page at a time. Have partners act out stand skill on the last page. The third read is a group read. Ask questions to check comprehension. What is CAM? Retell what happens in this story. Have children point to parts of the story on the page. Ask, what is CAM's great skill? What is Stan's great skill? Find where the story tells you. And the fourth read is a choral read. There's also a fluency opportunity. Listen closely for accuracy as children read. Please provide corrective feedback using the corrective feedback routine number 2 on T19. You will also see a quick check that asks you to listen to children's readings of great skill. Note errors to determine the need for reteaching specific high-frequency words or sound spellings, or for building automaticity. Use the options below or the routines on page T19 to individualize further intervention. We will now take a look at the assessment features of Reach into Phonics Foundations. In this section, we will examine the comprehensive assessment suite offered through Reach into Phonics Foundations. If time permits, please pause the video and conduct a walkthrough of the assessment options within the program. Reach into Phonics Foundations offers a comprehensive, data-driven array of assessment and tools to monitor student progress through reportable measures that inform instruction throughout the year and maximize effectiveness of intervention. They customize reteaching options in order to meet individual student needs. Throughout the program, there are a variety of tools you can use to assess student skill levels and to monitor student progress. Additional tools can be used periodically throughout the program. Lesson Quick Check features for formative assessments, bi-weekly reteaching activities, weekly reteaching options and language transfer issue solutions, unit monitor progress review, and reteaching activities. This is an informative matrix that shows the schedule, diagnostic, and purpose of each assessment component. As you can see, the schedule beginning of the year, mid-year, and end of year. You will also see the diagnostic assessment and the purpose. We will now look in greater detail at the formative assessments that take place systematically within each unit. These assess and reteach pages provide assessment and reteaching options that can be used after weekly instruction. Teachers have the option of using reading progress assessments to evaluate words correct per minute, accuracy rate, and expression. Bi-weekly reteaching activities for phonological awareness, phonics, and high-frequency word practice are provided if students need reteaching of core weekly skills. These are slides that we reviewed at the end of weeks 1 and 2. To reiterate, you will have multiple assessment options: a reading progress assessment, a student progress tracker, an overview of the tested skills, and then options for reteaching within phonological awareness, phonics, and high-frequency words. In addition, you will have unit progress monitor assessments. The tested skills here cover phonological awareness, phonics and decoding and spelling, high-frequency words, and also offer review and reteaching opportunities through additional instructional routines and reteaching lessons. Reach into Phonics Foundations provides a selection of reading progress assessments online at www.myngconnect.com to collect periodic data regarding students' fluency, as fluent reading is one of the primary goals of explicit instruction in foundational skills. By measuring students' application of the foundational skills through oral reading passages, you are able to measure students' progress towards grade-level reading benchmarks by recording words correct per minute. It can be noted whether or not students are gaining at least 2 words per minute and thus responding positively to the intervention sequence. The running records that are provided within the reading progress assessments allow you to directly note misused words, missed words, self-corrected words, and other errors or miscues to inform instruction and to identify areas that may require reteaching. Finally, a retelling rubric provides an opportunity to observe students' reading comprehension and to ensure that it too is on track for obtaining grade-level benchmarks. Here you will see accuracy and rate rubric, the oral reading fluency rubric, the reading progress assessment, the retelling rubric, and the reading progress assessment wrap-up. Here's an example of the student progress tracker. As you can see, all Blackline master documents, scripts, and formats are provided within your teacher materials. In addition, you will see the different assessment masters for each section of the foundational skills. If time permits, please practice giving the different assessments that are available within Reach into Phonics Foundations, either individually or with a partner. Now let's take a few moments to look at the digital support that is offered on www.myngconnect.com. You can access the Reach into Phonics Foundation Teachers Edition resources by simply clicking on your Reach for Reading Teachers Edition on the MyNG Connect homepage. Then you will choose the Reach into Phonics Foundation's Teachers Edition from the Teacher Volume choices. Now you will see electronic access to the Reach into Phonics Foundation's Teachers Edition for grades K, 1, and 2. You may also access additional resources in your Reach into Teaching resource directory that is located in the bottom left corner of the MyNG Connect homepage. As you can see, the highlighted areas contain the Reach into Phonics additional resources. You can click on each one of these digital resources and print, save, or upload any resource that is included there. You will also have direct access to the word builder that is found on myngconnect.com. Again, some words of wisdom from G. Pinnell and I. Fontes. Phonics is extremely important, but not sufficient in and of itself. Since only about half the words in the English language are phonetically regular, readers need a wide range of language knowledge and strategies to solve words. Thank you for participating in our session today. I hope you have found this session informative and that you are now ready to utilize Reach into Phonics Foundations with your students. Thank you.